Well, now it's time to say a few words about Microsoft Edge. Originally Project Spartan, then ultimately named Edge, the new browser designed to provide a common interface across multiple device types, desktops, laptops, hybrids, tablets, and phones, and therefore stripped down, clean user interface with some interesting capabilities, a reading view that strips away a lot of the web formatting so that you can concentrate on the content. Reading list gives you the ability to save a web page, or really a link to a web page, so that you can study it later. The ability to highlight, scribble, put text annotations on a web page and save them. And then built-in support for Acrobat PDF and Flash content. Of course, the limitations are important. Basically, no ActiveX controls outside the built-in support for PDF and Flash, no browser helper objects. That's going to render Edge unsuitable for some business applications, and so IE is still provided. May not run some intranet applications. There's no facility for saving a web page out to disk. And perhaps one of the more significant ones is we really don't have much group policy support for Edge. So I think the best way to talk about some of these features is to do a quick demo of them. So opening Edge presents an entry field in which the user can specify either a search term, such as BitLocker, which Edge will then pass along to the predefined search provider of choice, or a URL, such as www.solarindustry.mag.com, of interest to the fine folks at Globomentics. Now, if I open an article here but realize that, oh, let's see here, this looks good, but I don't really have time to read it right now, I can come up here to the star and choose to add that to my reading list. If I just want to read it one time, I can add it to favorites if it's something I'm going to come back to frequently. But let's just choose reading list here and add it. And then I can access my reading list via the hub, which shows me favorites, reading list, history, and downloads. And there it is. It actually does not do an offline save of the page. So it's just a link, so it's going to have to later, when I go back to click that off the reading list, it's going to have to go out and collect that content. So I need to be live later to read it, but nevertheless, something like a temporary favorite, if you want to think of it that way. And then we also have favorites up here, and history that I can look at, and downloads that I can look at as well. The reading view feature of Edge strips away most of the page formatting to present a simpler view so that the user can focus on the content. I actually love this feature of Edge, as I find many websites to be far too cluttered. Clicking the reading view icon again turns that feature off. It's a toggle. Annotating web pages is available via the web note capability. So I can use a pen, or I can select a highlighter, and I can highlight something of interest. And then I can click the floppy icon, if you remember what a floppy looks like. And I can save that to OneNote or favorites or my reading list, if I so choose, along with the annotation. As soon as I exit out of here, the more actions capability is over here on the right. So I can choose that, and I can see that Edge supports in private browsing, as we talked about in the context of IE. I can also open this page in IE. For example, if I discover that it needs ActiveX support, there are developer tools available, and I can also go to settings and see a lot of things here with respect to the user interface, how I want the browser to open, reading view options, and then some advanced settings where I can find some ability to control pop-ups and privacy settings pertaining to saved passwords and saved form entries, do not track requests, the preferred search engine, cookie settings, page prediction settings, the smart screen filter that we talked about in connection with IE, and so forth. So Edge is a lean, mean browser designed for cross-device usage in a world that's gravitating more towards HTML5 and JavaScript. So as a parting thought as we wind down this module, despite some features that are new and some that have changed, Windows 10 is still basically Windows. I don't think it's 4 versions newer or 4 versions different. If you look at the internal version numbers from Windows 7, Windows 8.1, which were both 6 point something, and now we're at Windows 10 and it's 10 point something, but is it 4 different? Not really. You already know a lot about Windows 10. It's an evolutionary product. Much of your prior knowledge about Windows is still true and correct. Microsoft has made an effort to combine the best features of Windows 7 and 8 and add some new capabilities on top of that. So next up, Windows 10 deployment tools.